you say that it's very important for non-for-profits to understand the source of their funding and the nature of resources.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, you have to understand the flywheel effect, which is that we found in building any great institution, it is like pushing a giant heavy flywheel. You start pushing and you push and you push, and after a lot of effort, you get one giant slow, creaky turn. Think back to when you first started this association, you started this church. All the effort, you know, a year, and where were you compared to today, right? Massive effort to get one giant, slow, creaky turn on a flywheel. And everybody in here who has built something knows that you work really hard early and you just get one turn.
Yeah, to put on a weekly service
required a huge flywheel.
It was like all hands on deck.
Exactly.
Just to get 1 week service done.
1 week service. I mean, and it's a big turn on that flywheel, but you don't stop. You keep pushing, and to go back to Professor Nanda, absolutely important, in an intelligent and consistent direction. It's about consistency. Building turn 2 and turn 4 and turn 8 and then 16 and 32 and 100 and 1,000 and 1,000,000. And at some point that flywheel's got cumulative momentum and it building, turn upon turn, crank upon crank. What was the day that Willow Creek broke through? Well, there's no one day.
Right.
It's turn upon turn and push upon push, year upon year, week upon week, day upon day, person upon person, momentum in the flywheel, growing your people the whole bit. Now, let me link that back to what is the intelligent, consistent direction? Well, in Good to Great, we found this thing called the hedgehog concept, which is that you have to have sort of one big idea that allows you to retain that consistency. An intersection of 3 circles, what you are deeply passionate about. And if you can't be passionate about it, you're never going to be great at it. What you can contribute to your communities better than anyone else in the world. And then third, this was the key. In Good to Great, we write about the economic engine. And in the business sector, you get profit per X. And there's this wonderful way of turning the flywheel, which is that I get an economic engine. So I got passion, best at economics, right? And then I deliver profit per X. And then I've got this wonderful thing called rational capital markets.
Yeah.
Right? So I generate profit per X. I'm really good at it. I'm passionate about it. That allows me to attract capital.
Right.
That capital then allows me to build a strong organization,
right,
which then I can use to deploy, given to what we're best at, to deliver even better results, which generates greater profit, which then, guess what? Attracts more capital and
right,
builds capital. And this
flywheel goes crazy.
Just builds.
Yeah. Right.
Guess what?
Doesn't work that way in church.
Exactly. You do not have rational capital markets.
Right.
And people in the social sector, so when John Morgan, a pastor, approached me and he said, we have trouble with the third circle. For us, it's not an economic engine. It's more complicated than that. We have to really ask ourselves the question, how do we get resources of all type, heads and hearts and minds and spirit, because that's what drives the flywheel.
Yeah. Volunteerism.
Volunteerism.
Yeah, people's brain power,
right,
their willingness to show up early and work late after they've worked at their job all day,
yep,
as well as their tithes and offerings, as
yep,
well as sacrificial giving for capital campaigns.
Yep.
But the point you make on this is leaders have to decide or determine
exactly
the source of that resource.
So what happens is, in the business sector, it's a pure economic engine, profit
right,
per X. For your world, it's a resource engine.
Right.
Passion, best at, resource engine composed of 3 components. Time, access to people who are willing to give of their energy and spirit at rates substantially less than they probably would make in the private sector.
Which is essentially volunteerism.
Volunteerism in all various forms, whether
right,
it be analog or digital.
Right.
Second, I mean analog meaning it's, you know, below market, digital means it's free. The second is, right.
I knew that.
Okay. The second is cash flow, money and capital resources. And I want to make a very important point about that in a minute. But what would be the third? What would make the flywheel go round and round?
I know the answer.
A reputation.
Yeah. Brand.
A brand.
Right.
And in the absence of rational capital markets, we'd like to suggest that the bonding glue that allows the flywheel to turn in the absence of those rational capital markets is a brand reputation for delivering results relative to your mission. I care about the environment. I support something like the Nature Conservancy. Do I know for certain that the Nature Conservancy is the absolute best at delivering results relative to the environment? I don't know for sure. but their reputation gives me confidence that my resources will be well deployed.
Yeah.
And so what happens then is you then begin to build capital resources to build an organization.